Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor.
This is it. The putt to win the tournament. If you sink it, the championship is yours. But on your backswing, your hat falls over your eyes. Is this how you're running your business? Poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated finance software? To see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system to power your growth. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budget, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. With NetSuite, you can automate your processes and close your books in no time while staying well ahead of your competition. 93% of surveyed businesses increased their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite. And right now, through the end of the year, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/C-Suite. Head to netsuite.com/C-Suite for special end-of-year financing on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/C-Suite.
The Daily Compliance News for January 3, 2022, the Y Upgrade Edition. And we begin with that story from Reuters, as Morgan Stanley agrees to pay $96 million to resolve a data security lawsuit where customers said the bank exposed their personal data when it twice failed to properly retire some of its older information technology systems. Preliminary settlement was proposed and approved by the court. Morgan Stanley denied wrongdoing, but has made, quote, substantial, end quote, upgrades to its data security practices. Customers accused Morgan Stanley in 2016 of failing to decommission 2 data centers which had unencrypted equipment, which allowed the data breach. And it really is the first case I can think of where the failure to upgrade led to a substantial civil litigation award. Next up, also from Reuters, German investors in Germany want $2.5 billion from Bayer for their part in the Monsanto disastrous merger for Bayer, that is. And this just keeps costing Bayer, and if you wonder why you should do pre-acquisition due diligence from the compliance perspective, well, now you know. Next up from Dylan Tokar at the Risk and Compliance Journal at the Wall Street Journal, Danske Bank is rebuilding its compliance program after its money laundering scandal. Galvanized by the 2018 scandal at the tiny branch in Estonia, the Copenhagen-based bank is about halfway through a revamp of its financial crimes control policy. Obviously, you become very focused when you have such a massive AML breach. Indeed, more than $230 billion flowed from Russia and other Soviet states through the branch in Estonia. And of course, the bank conveniently looked the other way the entire time. So let's hope they have a culture revamp as well, because when you have a culture that values making money over everything else, you tend to have problems such as Danske Bank had. But at least they're upgrading now. And our final story from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Mingy Sun reporting, says that a payment of a subsidiary of a vacation rental company of Airbnb has agreed to settle violations that violated U.S. sanctions against Cuba. Airbnb payments allegedly processed payments associated with guests traveling to Cuba for reasons outside categories authorized by the U.S. government. I think, as everyone knows, the Trump administration cracked down on Cuba after the Obama administration had opened it, and Airbnb ran afoul of those regs. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.